All right, ladies and gents, welcome. Hope we're all doing well, guys. Welcome to another big week on the charts. Looking forward to seeing what we can come up with to continue on so far what has been a really good July. So without further ado, guys, let's get this show on the road. And as always, guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another edition of the London session. So guys, as you guys know, I need you guys to do me a favor, especially you guys on YouTube. I need you to smash that like button. Very important that you guys smash that like button. Also, it's very important that you guys say good day in the chat. I need to get these numbers up on YouTube. Quick smart. TikTok, guys, smash that screen for me. Don't forget to do so. And if you guys have any charts you'd like me to look at, or any questions or requests or whatever, feel free to send those into the chat. And I'll get to those once we've done the analysis at, well, first of all on gold. We'll also look at German 40. I'll take a look at the FTSE as well. And for anyone who really wants me to, GJ. But to be honest, I'm not even trading GJ anymore. So, but we will have a look at the charts. Let's have a look at news to see if there is any high impact news, or any news really, during our session here today. Nothing of impact. Do have a French bank holiday, so parts of the euro sector won't be trading today, the banks. But what we can see is pretty smooth sailing moving forward into our session here today, with nothing even scheduled for the US session. So should be okay for us today. So without further ado, guys, let's check out the charts and let's have a good one, guys. So starting with the gold, and what we can see is we are previous weekly candle did end up closing quite a strong bullish candle. We did create a higher low, higher high to the previous candle. What we've already done in the current candle is create the upper wick and broken the high of the previous candle, but we're now retracing towards our low. So I'm going to mark in both the high and low of the current daily candle, knowing that we've got the candle probabilities to the upside in a minute. If we were to in fact continue bullish, then there really isn't necessarily much of a need for us to pop back down and break the support formed at the daily low. Now we'll see what sort of, if any, catalyst we have below that level to look for any sell options. Onto the daily time frame here, and popping back below some resistance here, so that could add confluence to any potential sell options. Again, high low, high high on the daily as well. Structurally we are bullish, but we're more concerned by counter probabilities at this stage. So seeing we are at resistance, could this be a potential level that price may reject to make a deeper pullback? So we're going to see now on the 4 hour what further evidence we may have to go by that theory. All right, so the 4 hour is about to close, guys, and we really want it to close bearish engulfing. Will be fantastic here, which would close us right near the daily candle's low. But either way, nonetheless, we're going to mark in some resistance just now. It's a tough one, actually. We're going to wait for the 30. We know we're at a 4 hour level. I will draw that in. That's a 4 hour level, and then we'll go down to the 30. We can see we're still below that resistance here, so we have perhaps grabbed liquidity from the upside multiple times here, only to reject. So a real strong catalyst, like I mentioned just before, would be a bearish engulfing closure here in the next 6 minutes on gold for the close the 4 hour candle back strong bearish. Looking at on the 15-minute time frame, so what we're going to do is just adjust this, and we're going to remove it, and we're going to mark in a level just there. That is the most recent resistance. So we've pulled back to a level of support, and we are currently consolidating at that support. So we're going to mark in multiple levels here above the resistance. I feel at that point there is a high probability, if we do respect this level of support, that price could make a move back up towards that previous weekly candle's high. So off the back of that, that could be the potential level I look for some buyers from. Buying it from the bottom third of the range as well, so that'd be a good level for me to get involved in potential buys. So we'll consider the buys from above that point there. Now below, again below the current daily candle's low, we've got this support right at it. We've got this support. So if we were to continue bullish, then there is not much of a need for us to pop below that support, and if we were to do so, I feel there's a high probability at that point there that price could make its way back towards 33.50. Now, whether or not we'll have the margin to take a sell below that point remains to be seen. Reason being, at the minute we are just in consolidation. So when price is in consolidation, for me there is no entry within it, and for me there is no impulse entry away from it, especially to the downside here. I would perhaps consider it to the upside if we have a strong closure above the bodies of these candles to the left. But if it's to be to the downside, what I would prefer to see is exactly this: the closure below, price to pull back, tap back into that zone, and then potentially look for a sell to take it back down to that 33.50 region. And that is, at the minute, what I'm likely going to be waiting on gold here. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Once again, please, YouTube, hit that like button. TikTok, smash that screen. And that is gold. Now let's take a look at German 40 next. We'll move on to German 40. A big gap in the market from market session open and the weekly open. Weekly did close back bullish engulfing, but left a long wick to the upside. So it did break the all-time high, only to pull back below the closures here to the left-hand side. So off the back of that, I would call that weak bullish. If we were to break the low of it, then perhaps that could lead to a deeper pullback onto the daily time frame. Big gap to the downside. So we're going to mark in the daily high. And if we were to continue bearish, then we've obviously got lower low, lower high. There is no need to pop back up, break the high, and fill that gap. If we do so, I feel there's a high probability that we will, if we begin to break our own high, fill that gap on the daily time frame. Structurally, we know we're bullish, but counter probabilities, we are to the downside. 4 hour, still bullish in structure the way I see it. Almost tapping into, well, yeah, basically tapping into support just now. I'm going to mark in that level just there. It's a level of interest. We'll make our way to the 15-minute time frame. A little bit of margin by the looks of things below the 4 hour support. Onto the 15, and what we can see, so very simple for me today on German 40. So long as price remains below 24.098, then we are technically bearish on the minor time frame, with daily counter probabilities also being to the downside. I would prefer to look for sells upon the pullback. Again, the weekly also closing back a weak bullish candle, with the previous few dailies closing strong bearish, suggesting that there is a fair bit of sell pressure still present within the market. So I would be looking for pullback sells off the back of that, and also further sell options potentially below the low. We've got a little gap just there as well, so potentially below the support here at 23. Let me just mark it in. 23.997, pretty much below that point there. May also consider some continuation sells. Now to the upside, again, I would not really consider, to be honest, buying from this point, because of the fact of the daily candles and the counter probabilities, and also the rejection and structure forming here on the 15. So in order for me to start to look for buy options, I would prefer price to pop back up to that point and close back above it. And that point there, gonna retest the daily high, and then also likely, if we were to break the daily high, likely to retest the gap, or fill that gap from market open. So buys above that point. Actually, well, let's adjust it to the highest point of any bearish candles. Buyers above that point. Just quickly mark it in. All right. Nice move. I sent a chart out into my members group for sells below the daily low, and it's literally made a move down. No lower wicked on that previous candle. Back to gold. Nothing just yet on gold. So let's move our way on to what should we have a look at next, GJ or FTSE? We'll start with the FTSE, and eventually probably we'll get to GJ. All right, so open also with a gap to the downside here, but the previous weekly was a strong bullish candle as opposed to a weak bearish on the German 40. So we did close up closer to our high here. Looking at the daily, with that gap to the downside, pretty much tapping into resistance here to the left. So we're going to focus more on the current daily, and we're going to mark in the high and low of it and see what we've got either side of that. We know we are bullish in structure also, though, on the daily time frame. 4 hour, once again, is bullish. Have created a bit of a lower high, lower low sequence though within it. We're going to mark in resistance at this point here, and we'll mark in some support as well at current daily low. Lines up with that to the left, so we'll use that. Now onto the 30-minute time frame here. All right, and that is definitely bearish, so a bit of a mixed bag here on the FTSE. So what I'd be looking at is I just now adjust some of these zones and mark in some minor zones. So I'm marking a zone there at the daily, whoops, at the daily high. So we're going to mark in that point there. We're going to adjust this zone to the upside, and we do have clean traffic. And seeing we are rejecting that level daily high, we've pulled back to it only to reject yet again. As long as we remain below it, I think sellers would be the better option. However, continuation sells below what point? This point, let's look at 30 though. Is that support? So drag it down a little bit lower. Yeah, so sells below, let me mark it in. 8920.8. That was, if prices to close below that point there, and I feel there's a high probability that we could end up back down towards that previous the wick down here from Friday. That's the start of the day actually, so the daily low, apologies. There's a good chance we could pull back to retest the daily low to grab that liquidity from the downside. So I would be looking for sells from that point there. I'd also consider buys if I had the right confirmation though from this support based off the weekly candle, the previous weekly being a strong bullish candle. Perhaps we're just pulling back yet again to create a grab liquidity before we head up in line with the direction of the previous weekly candle. Aside from that, we'd definitely consider buy options above this resistance. So above 8940.8, buys above that point there. And once again, if we did pull back to respect resistance up around that 89, let me just mark it in. 89.3750, there'd be nothing wrong with also looking for sells and just trading the range. So that's pretty much what I'd be looking at on the FTSE, something like so. And finally, last but not least, my least favorite pair at the minute, GJ. Don't worry guys, I can see gold's just still in consolidation, so we're not missing anything at the minute on the gold. All right, so onto GJ. And looking at weekly, so we did end up closing bullish engulfing and strong bullish, still though respecting some wicks here to the left. So potentially we still could reject. We really need some strong closures above that bearish candle wick. 1 second, guys. All right, apologies. Yeah, so as long as we continue to close below the wick from 199.550 roughly, we still could end up rejecting here. It is a psychological round number. Above it, that 200 number, it would be the next sort of target. Daily, so pretty strong rejection on the previous daily candle, and if we were to break the low of the previous daily, I feel there's a high probability we could make a deeper pullback towards that 197.20 sort of region. We are bullish in structure, but if we break the low of that candle, we're popping back below some resistance also here to the left hand side. Onto the 4 hour, heavy consolidation here on the 4 hour, but it does look good below it. Definitely looks good below it, so we'll mark in that as 4 hour support. Resistance, we're marking the most recent level, which is that point there. And I'm looking for probably trades either below the resistance, below support, or perhaps from a buy from support. Now onto the 30-minute time frame, which is the time frame of choice for me on GJ. And let's just adjust this across. Now below, clean traffic. So definitely would consider sell options below 198.239. It is to support the current daily candles low. If we were to begin to pop below it, there's a high probability, clean traffic to the left, that we could make a potential move towards 197.80. So that would be a potential sell option off the back of that. Now as for buys, again off the back of the previous weekly candle, if you had a strong catalyst form from this level of support, I would perhaps consider it as a chance at a good opportunity to potentially look for a buy in anticipation that perhaps it could be the lowest point of the daily and we could continue upwards towards that resistance. We just now adjust this zone to the most recent level just here, and that's a blue. And that is pretty much it on GJ as far as I'm concerned for now. Obviously rejection sells from higher up, but for me, my focus is definitely on the gold, and we are still consolidating, so nothing just at the minute on the gold. In the meantime, guys, let me say good day to you all in the chat. Do appreciate it. Those who are on the stream at the minute: Tony Gold, Carl F, Franco, Carl F, Footsie, yep, Barman, appreciate it, yep, give it a like. TikTok, to the 40 odd of you on stream at the minute, thank you to the 6 new followers. Hope you're all doing well. And what have I missed? Let me just skim through the chat just briefly. About to read my own message. Another London session, yep, that's what we are here for. Still just under an hour away, 54 minutes, or roughly 53 minutes away. Luik 1523, hold sells from 3370. Have a plan, mate, have a plan. That support, it's still in a big strong uptrend the way I see it, so you're in some significant profit. Don't give it back. Kemi May, what app is that? That is TradingView. So it's a free app. There are paid versions. I don't use it, to be honest. For the news, that's Forex Factory. But I use also Financial Juice, which is more up to date with the breaking news. This is Financial Juice. And this is Forex Factory, which is most of the algos in that run off and prop firms when it comes to their rules with red fall news and things like that. They'll basically get the red, whatever they deem to be red fall news would be from Forex Factory. FX Oni, why is your 1 minute time frame different from mine? 1 minute? I'm not looking at 1 minute, I'm looking at 15. Daniel, scam? So why am I a scam, mate? It's all live. Maybe you've been approached by someone pretending to be me. Again, I'll make this clear, guys. I never initiate contact. Never, ever, ever. If anyone message you guys claiming to be me, it's not me. So just quick, smart, delete it, block them, report them. Scamming people into making money last week on the live stream for free. Danielle, I think someone's got some issues being burnt in the past, but it's definitely not by me, that's for sure. Statue Grizz, welcome to you. 1 hour time frame. Again, I'm not looking at the hourly, to be honest, mate. I'm looking at the 15. I'm not sure. I think maybe you misunderstood there. Arafin, good day, bro. I hope you're well. Today, gold grow, and then I am happy that you Grizz. Fair enough. What about gold? You can tell. Yep, just been over it. So it's about, we're just in consolidation at the minute. We need to pop out of it. And Sultan, I can buy now if you like. I'm not buying it just yet. Statue Chris, gold today go down. I thought you said you're wanting it to go up. Could go down. We'll have to wait and see because small value to high value. Sync trading. Go to Michael Nagito. Bye. Not just yet. Little Giraffe, hello to you. Arafin, got a 10k funded fresh hope market treats is good this week. Yep, just be strict with it, mate. Have a plan in regards to your rules for it. Lost in source. No, I'm not. No. 100 sleepy? No, not no entry just yet. I think it's going for a sell. maybe. It's just consulting. So what I see within the daily is that we have broken high of the previous daily. So the current probabilities are to the upside. So if we were to continue bullish, like I mentioned before, we have created support at the daily low. There is not much of a need to pull back down and break below it. Now, seeing we're coming from consolidation, there is no impulse entries because the issue is that it could drop back down. You could be tagged into an entry and it just grabs liquidity from the downside and then pushes back up to the resistance at the other end. So in order for me to get interested or to be interested in sells, I want it to close below, I want it to retest and break the low of the catalyst candle. So still a fair way off anything like that happening. Madam Stace, I need gold to go up. Someone must be in a buy at the minute. Again, you need to have a trade management plan. Under Sleepy Birth goes for a sell, what would you set your TP? Well, again, my target would be just previous levels, so 33.50 would be the first target. YouTube, good to see the numbers up a little bit, appreciate it. Peter J, g'day to you. The Tech Gecko, Ismail, hello, I love what you did for us, sir. We are waiting signal on gold. Hello to you. Yeah, waiting for a potential entry. So still waiting. Had a good sim session with my group yesterday. Went over a few things on the 5 and 15. And have a big education session with my team later today as well, so I'm looking forward to that. You bought at 33.54, so you're in profit, and if you're scalping, you're in some pretty significant profit, so I'm not sure what you're concerned about, to be honest. For me, that's a very solid scalp. You're 50 pips in profit. Zach Bear, any platinum? Ooh, I don't have, but look at this, guys. How long since I started these streams, since before then, on the old stream, I was talking this thing up, silver. Look at it now. How is that for a breakout? This thing is running rampant. Let's have a look at year to date. So from, let's just get the measurement tool out. So that was the year open, so 32.98% roughly. Same time, let's have a look at gold, and then we'll maybe have a quick look at platinum. So the precious metals, I'm huge on them, to be honest, as far as, you know, I'm going to be really careful what I say as far as what I'm into for the future. So similar, gold's 33.93, but silver is just waking up. So silver is, for me, kind of wish it would chill a bit and not take off just yet, but it looks like it may really continue to the upside. Sketchmas, g'day to you, mate. Hope you're well. My 4 years, I had a good opening session, was in a buy from Friday, straight into triple figures. Nice one. Zach Bear, I do not trade it, no. Wow, that also massive breakout. So the precious metals are just continuing strong bullish. I can have a quick look at it for you. Weekly closed strong bullish up near its high at the back of that. And this is nowhere near all-time high territory, guys. This is well off all-time highs. Still almost a little bit more than half the price of its all-time high. So still some upside, a lot of upside potentially here on platinum. Heard some economists suggest that this could get up towards that 10k and eventually will surpass gold again. Personally, for me, when I see it run up like this, I would look, there's nothing wrong with dollar cost averaging, but I would prefer it to make a bit of a pullback. Where to? Perhaps some of this previous resistance. So 1300 would be a level I would consider looking for some potential long-term holds on platinum. Daily, Again, we're going to be bullish across the board here. Could potentially pull back towards that 1425 to create a lower wick on the weekly. That'd be a decent destination. Lines up the 50% basically of the previous daily candle. So that is level I'd want to see the buyers step back in, form support first, head back up. Let's quickly get back to gold, guys. Sorry, I can see it looking like it potentially. All right, so it's not quite yet valid. So we need to wait at least another 15 minutes here. I'll get back to platinum just quickly. All right, so on to the 4-hour time frame, and also we are bullish. We are about to break low of the previous candle low, so that could suggest that it's a pause within price action in order for us to make a bit of a further pullback. As far as support, we're miles off it. You could perhaps mark in some previous levels here and work our way down to the 15. Yeah, I'll just drag that across now. Lines up with some support. I'll use that. And I would be looking for buyers, to be honest. I'd be looking at this thinking you're close to a high time frame support, which was previous resistance. You kind of missed the best part of the sell option. It is technically bearish in the minor time frame, the 15. I'd rather just wait for an opportunity to buy it from lower down. And that's how I'd personally play it. Otherwise, if price was to pop below 14.18 roughly, it was pretty clean traffic to the left hand side, but you wouldn't want it to come straight from these highs. So something like so, where creating some structure before popping below that 14.18 and then potentially look for sells. Still remember when platinum was worth more than gold. Venom Stace? Yep, so hopefully you've secured some profit on it. It's been a really good start, solid start to July, and we're going to continue doing what we do best, guys. We wait patiently for the right setup. Last Friday, when people were questioning why I didn't take the sell, sorry, because it was in a big strong uptrend, and we made the most of the buys about half an hour later. That was a cracking trade to end the week. So again, we just be patient and play to our strengths, play to our plan, and execute if and when accordingly. To my members, apologies, I need to share, send you a link. All right, let's have a look here on gold. Yeah, so seeing we're bullish across the board, I really need a catalyst in order to look for sells, and at this stage that is still won't be confirmed till below the low. Let's wait at 15 here. Now what we want to see is, guys, if we close above, we want to start to form a little bit of consolidation perhaps on the 5 minute. So similar to the trade last Friday, but that was based off a single candle confirmation as well. This is more with coming from consolidation. So if we were to perhaps close above, start to close above here on the 5 minute time frame, like so, and then the next M5 perhaps closes weak bearish, followed by this to close the 5 minute candle and close the 15, sorry, and then we're into clear traffic to the left hand side as well. So that could be a potential catalyst. So we're just waiting for something like that to happen. We've got the first tick. Let's see now what happens. Or if this candle closes bullish like so, then we want the following candle close weak bearish. And I would still look for a buy as price begun to break that weak bearish candle high. And treat it as a mini pause above the resistance. Whoops, so that should be red. Green, sorry. Nonfi, thank you for the stickers, appreciate it. And thank you for sharing the live. Arafin, there is a bit of news this week, but nothing today. I think there's CPI, PPI, or yep, CPI for the US dollar. We've got CPI for the pound, and yep, PPI. So the leading indicators for inflation this week. Unemployment claims as well, retail sales Thursday, Friday, I think it's pretty clean slate. So as we are aware, anything could break at any point in time, so we need to always keep an eye on the news. Surfer Abdi, yes, looking for potential buys. Amit, is entry done on gold? Not yet, mate. Looking for some potential buys. So we're waiting. I've been over what I want to see within this candle closure on the 15. I want this to close above. Should have a new stream layout on YouTube, possibly Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Changing a few things up, guys, so Kryptonian, thank you for sharing a live as well. 100 Sleepy, do you have a mentorship course or single group? I do have a mentorship course. I have a trade ideas section which I do call trades out in, but it's not a signal service. So it's only when I'm on the charts and I see something like here, call this a couple minutes before the entry, and we took advantage of that. Yeah, so it's maybe 2 or 3 trades a week I'll call out in this, and other than the trades on stream. So every trade that I take is documented, whether it be on the live call or in the trade ideas section. The mentorship is all there. There's a course which took me more than 15 months to put together. I will be adding to that, and that is part of today's education session with the members group. There is what, 140, 130 pages roughly of the course, all done by myself, even the editing, so it needs to be probably professionally edited, but I'm pretty happy with it. Plus all the recorded education videos. We have Monday an education session every Monday with the team. Every second Sunday we have a sim session. That was yesterday. And there's a lot more. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're on live calls for pre-MY. Thursday, it's a live market update and we have a look for a little bit. Friday, there's an accountability session just after the stream. And like I said, every second Sunday is a sim session. Heaps going on. Do you teach a strategy? What is it? Yeah, of course I do. It's all in there. It's all in there. It's just you get access to myself as well. But again, give you a quick look. So here is the educational side of it all. Education course, grading entry series, which is a very important one. Rejecting just now, guys. So further educational videos, recorded educational sessions, they're important, and recorded sim sessions. that's all there, and the chat and everything, members analysis, links to the Zoom calls, all that stuff. So there's heaps within it. Gold rejecting just now. Like I mentioned, I'm not so keen on selling it, guys. To be honest, we're in a big strong uptrend still. I need a catalyst to sell it, and that won't happen until we've got the 15-minute structure flipping back bearish. We're far off that for the time being. Where do you guys disappear to? Not sure where I put the... Oh, here it is. Sorry. Yeah, it's a strong rejection at the minute, guys. All good. Hence why there is no impulse entries coming from consolidation, because it's doing now from the upside what I mentioned it could do from the downside. So that's goes to show the importance of waiting patiently for some closures in this situation. A lot of others would be jumping in. They'll be tempted. They'll be going down to the 1 minute time frame even. Whereas I'm just sitting here waiting patiently for my confluence to present my rules to be ticked off and my plan to present. No need to rush anything. Yoni, what are you trading? Gold? Spot gold? 100% sleepy? Potentially. Yep, right now, to me, it's nothing. It's just consolidating. Donnelly, yes. Welcome to you, mate. You wait? Yep, nice one. Vaughn, doing what it does best, gold. Triggering people into buys, sells, everything. We're just waiting. All good, Donnelly. We just need to patiently wait for the right confirmation here. We still might have it. I like the fact that we're triggering sellers in at this level again. So if we just need to close above, wipe out the sellers here, I mean, there still could be an option in 2.5 minutes, guys. If this 5 minute rips and close back above, then that to me is a catalyst. So I'm not completely writing it off. It's gold. It has volume. It could do anything. But at this rate, it doesn't look likely for the time being. 100 sleepy. It's $1 a day, mate. So it's not. I mean, for the most. I mean, I understand people with different situations and that, but it's, I think, very, very fairly priced. I've paid heaps more for my education, a lot more, and I give a lot more out than what I ever got in the past. Madam Stace, 3361 was your TP. Beautiful, well done. You've literally just tapped into just above it, so well done. Or at least you had a plan, so therefore, shouldn't have been so concerned by it. 100 sleepy, yeah, $30. Is it possible to get a big sell, Jojo? Anything's possible, but for me to believe that it could pull back further, is I want to see more structure flipping here. So potentially in the 15, if it closes below the 33.53, then I feel there's a good chance we could perhaps make a deeper correction. But off the back of the previous weekly and the one prior to that too, which are bullish candles, and off the structure itself on the higher time frame picture, the daily, the weekly, the 4 hour, still suggests to me that we're in a big strong uptrend here. So it could be a short-lived pullback. I would love for gold to really make a big pullback personally, so I could buy in on longer term holds, but I don't know if it will, to be honest. All right, so are we going to close above here? Trying to pop back up. We need it back above though. That is the rule. Seeing a 30 is closing as well. We can have a look at a 30. 30 looks a bit better, but I'm still not convinced because we're not above that level. Oh, how's that for last minute bounce up and down? 100%, 100%, 100 sleepy. Is it sell? What do you think about 33.46? I don't think there's any clear entry just yet. 46 is a level to target. Yeah, 45. I'd be targeting 50 and then 45. Let's watch it on a 5-minute bit as well, guys. Yeah, so that volatility at the end of that candle actually left a gap on my broker's chart to the upside. This candle's got a gap to the upside. Alright, slow, we have the same box. Nice one. It's good. We're looking at similar sort of areas. What's going on YouTube? Anyone currently in a trade, let me know. Let's quickly have a look through the rounds. GJ potentially closing below here. Got no upper wick, so for me there is no impulse entries, plus coming from still above the support. Even on the 30, if you can drag that down. So to me there is no entry without that wick. German 40. All right, respecting this support, we're close back above it. So this is what I mean about when price breaks a level, how we want it to generally pull back to retest it, see if it is just to grab liquidity from, in this case, the downside, and maybe you're going to make a deeper pullback, or if we are to reject and then maybe sell off further. So on German 40, I'd be looking for, once again, pullback sells or continuation sells still. FTSE close right at that level, and would have preferred to close a little bit lower down. And once again, as I mentioned last week, full transparency, guys, I only trade gold live at the minute. It's the only asset that I trade live. Not GJ anymore. I just don't watch it enough. I do plan to at some point perhaps trade either German 40 or the FTSE, or even both potentially. But the only asset I trade live at the moment is gold. Carl, you're in GU and EU sales. Yep, looking good, mate. Wow. GU into some clean, squeaky clean traffic. EU not selling off as strongly, but it's at some support here to the left. I'm assuming you're in from higher up, so good start to the day, my friend. EU for me, what I'd be looking at if I trade it was limit order sells on the retest. Selling 33.62 Shaunsey. Okay, if it taps in, or Forex, your box from 30 33 560 60 33. Oh, okay, so it's a little bit different. That could be because of the prices on the broker. DS Nevek, good day to you. Good morning. Yep, good morning to you. Wishing you a profitable week, and to you too, my friend. Welcome back to the stream.
Good morning,
Franco, how are you, mate?
Yeah, getting better. So we need to go to some doctors today.
Oh, okay.
Better, thank you.
As long as we're all getting better, that's the main thing.
Yeah. yeah, missed some potential. I don't know potential. So missed some trades on GU. Was not finding like an entry. On GU.
Yeah.
Was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, not really much of a wick on any of these candles, to be honest. I mean, by the looks of it,
Retest.
yeah, that would have been the only one I would have considered.
Correct.
Yeah, so now I'd say I've just been waiting for it to pull back and retest.
Correct. Yeah.
Pull back, maybe retest this level.
Yeah, if we do a clean move to the upside until this area, and then bouncing back from this.
Yeah,
distance,
you
would be great.
you'd probably even look at the 15-minute level there. That looks pretty good. Potential pullback to that point.
Yeah, and maybe gold. For me, also looking for some sales on gold as you marked there.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see.
Yep. 5-minute consolidating here as well now. So for me, the buys above still are an option if we can close above. But I want to see, again, I want to see the 15 above that point. We've rejected all day long, so since popping back down to create the low of the day.
So in my crypto, my XRP, which I buy,
Yeah.
up 25%. So
Absolutely flying the crypto. It's,
yeah.
yeah, I've missed my entries. I've only got some ETH, not a great deal, so all good. Silver doing its thing as well, but again, I'm not even wanting it to pump at the minute.
Did you buy some?
Not this weekend, no. No,
Okay.
not first week in a while, to be honest, because the level as well. I'm just gonna let it play out a bit. Maybe if it drops during the week a few dollars, then I might. Carl, don't trade them often, so just use 4-hour levels. If I catch something, I'll take it. If not, oh, okay, fair enough. Timmy, thoughts on GJ? Yeah, so it's broken that support. I did mention sales below it, but the issue is got no upper wick. So for me, I would stay out of that in case it did pull back to create the upper wick. Therefore, I wouldn't be in a trade. So what I'd be looking for just now for it to reset is perhaps a little bit of a pause on the M15 below the support. Something like so. And then I would trust it again off the back of the new M30. But same thing, it needs to have an upper wick. As it begins to break the low of the bullish candle, that would be the type of entry or kind of entry I would personally look at. Nadek, what's up? Do you think gold is more about the news rather than about how the chart looks or indicators? First of all, I don't use indicators, and I still think technicals are just as important, to be honest, because if you were to tell me that, you know, a war was to break out in the Middle East and gold actually went down, it pump up a little bit initially, but eventually, whilst it was still going on, it actually ended up lower than when it started. So I think it's a mixture of both. It's very important to know what is going on around the world, and you know, fundamentally with whatever asset class it is that you're looking at. But I trade based off technicals. It's what works for me. So I do believe it's just as important. Miss KD, what do you recommend for this one? Does broadcasting make it better? For me, definitely, 100%. Because I am responsible for my actions. I know what people will be following along. Even though none of this is financial advice, guys, it's the truth. It's all for educational purposes. But it stops me from jumping in. Like, for instance, just now, tempted as might be, I still don't have that confirmation ticked off just yet. that I was looking for, that I spoke about earlier with 15-minute closure above. So to me, yeah, discipline, having a proper rule set and having a proper training plan, something to stick to, which clearly outlines how many trades a day, how much percent risk you're willing to take of a day, things like that. At the start, you won't probably follow it much, but then you'll start to realize it's probably a benefit too. So that definitely helps. Plus journaling. Journaling will start to uncover what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And what I say to my guys, we focus on our strengths, not our weaknesses. So a certain entry type is your strength. Forget some of the others. If impulse entries are your weakness, we just don't trade them. Things like that. That's how I go about it. So holding yourself accountable, calling trades and things like that, putting yourself out there definitely does help. All right, so here, like I mentioned, 115 above. What I would love to see, what I would absolutely love to see here is this kind of closure. A very weak pause here on the 5-minute. If I got that, I will be popping just now. If I had that, I would be looking for buys on the following candle. What else could we be looking for? We still got the 15-minute popping out of this consolidation. It still could be valid, guys, because we still got that. The first confirmation that we were looking for is the closure above. So it'll come down to the following candle, the low wick on that. Little Giraffe, thank you for the sub, by the way. So first sub, if anyone else wants to join, feel free. There will be benefits to the subs. You will get in on some of the live calls away from the stream. So if we were to close like this, I'd be potentially looking at a buy on the following candle. So I'm just gonna have it potentially set up. Now the highest point of this candle is 33.62.32. So 33.62.52 roughly. You want to be a couple of pips above. And that's what we could be looking at. Stop loss would be about 42 pips based off the 43 pips roughly based off the 15. Yeah, so that, guys, just a quick reminder, you do have a subscription service for the TikTok. You will get in on some of the live calls away from the stream. And eventually some content for subscribers only. YouTube, guys, any questions? Anyone in a trade at the minute? So we're waiting for this candle to close. Keep a track of the highest point of the candle too, guys, because we want to enter 2 pips above. We want it to leave an upper wick as well. So we're closing above, even if we were to drag that up, closing above this resistance as well on the 5 at the minute. Arafin, EU, sell. We'll look at it shortly. Apple user looking for buys. What is GU doing today? Oh, sorry. GU selling off. So we want a lower wick, guys, and potential entry will be above this candle's high. Forming some structure as well here on 5. Oh man, let's create a high. So 57 now roughly. So we need a lower wick. We need this candle to leave an upper wick, and then we need a lower wick on the following candle, and then could set some buy stops above the higher of our catalyst. So 58 is where I'd be looking at potential entry. 33.62.58. Currently the highest point on my broker is 33.62.30. Oh, it's popping up again. It's going to be a quick one potentially, guys. High is now 61. So you're looking at 81. It's popped up even higher. And no, oh, man, no upper wick. Are you kidding me? No entry. got a small one here. I don't have it on my broker. I've got to follow my broker's chart. On Friday, if you guys remember, I didn't actually have a wick on here. My broker's chart had one and I took the entry and it worked really well. Here, I don't have a wick on my broker's chart. The reason why I want it is because if you were to look back at a lot of these candles, what was the follow candle that didn't leave a wick? In this case, the upside bullish candle. A lot of time, the following candle ends up closing like pretty much like so. So off the back of that, again, it's just rules, guys, rules that I'm following. So I'd rather just not be in this for the time being. Let it, again, potentially reset. We could have maybe some options based off the 30. What I want to see based off that is perhaps this 15 close weak bearish and then look for a buy above the pause on the 15. Damn. It is what it is. I'm not going to try to force my way in. Dean, do you know any prop firms that work with TradingView? No idea, mate. No idea whatsoever. Arafin? Yeah, it's popping just now, but again, not. But got to be really strict with it. No name, howdy, good day to you. Hope you're all good, mate. How about yourself? Mick, good morning, thank the Lord, it's Monday. Gold. All good. It's all just part of the, again, part of trading. It happens. And now it's pretty much back on what the entry would have been either way. Yeah, really strict with discipline, guys. So train the rules. Oh, let's see. Oh, that wouldn't be a bad entry. Yeah, FTSE, the entry would have been at the break of the low of that bullish candle. Long upper wick, back into the range above. Only to close back right near the low. Weak bullish would suggest that obviously there was a lot of buy pressure within it, but by the end of it, the sellers did pull this thing back below the support. So perhaps we just grab liquidity from the upside in order to continue bearish. So once again, this is the type of entry I would look to take if we were on gold. So we'll see if it actually plays out on the FTSE as well. 5 minutes at some support. German 40, still pulling back a bit. GJ, yeah, you need that 15-minute pause here. All good, guys, all good. No entry just yet. KJ, XAUUSD, where you see gold going in the long at B. Potentially, where could it go? 33.72. So again, just missing that minor little detail, the upper wick. It's gone on the 1 minute. Only an entry 33.74.90 in a sell, you mean? What do you mean 33.64.90? Gold. So the plan was correct. The plan was correct, guys. Just lacking one detail. All good. Nothing much you can do about. $33.56.20 to the downside. Yeah, around 33.56.55. Oh, you're in from that point. Like I mentioned, 33.72. G, gold, silver, crypto going to the moon. Don't you think they're going to be a recession? To be honest, there already is, but they just don't announce it. And Would have been a cracking start to the week, but all good. It's always good to see the plan play out. But again, it's just as important to stick to your rules, because a lot of time this is going to do the opposite, and you're going to be thankful that you stuck to your rules. So we're all good to miss a trade. There's always going to be other opportunities. KJ, yep, that's it. It's a nice one. Daniel, 69. Talking about this support potentially, yeah. Targeting 72, yep. Gold testing resistance. Bertuk, good day to you. I see markets, no upper wick. What's he trying to pop back up? What can you do? Gabby, good day to you. You have an entry from 33.59.7. Where do you think is the best TP? I'd be targeting 72. That's what I'd be targeting, this resistance. There is a chance it could start to reject and pull back to create that higher low and then make the move up. But if I was in it right now, that's what I'd be targeting. The most recent resistance to the upside. Yeah, so the plan was for the buyers, guys, just missing that one little detail, need the upper wick. Gabby, all good? That's all we're doing. Oh, not much at the minute. Alright, so GJ, you want that weak pause, and if it was to close back weak bearish, let's look at the 5 minute. Yep, perfect. So it's valid. Because what we've done within the potential catalyst 30-minute candle just now that we are forming is, if so, the catalyst is closure below, but what we've done within it is we've closed below on a 5, we've retested on the 5, and we remain below that level. So if we were to close strong bearish just now, there is not necessarily much of a need for the new candle to pop back up to retest. I'm talking about in the 30, to retest that previous level of support, because we've already done that within our catalyst candle just here. So off the back of that, if you had a bit of an upper wick and price begun to break the low of the 30-minute candle, to me that would be a pretty solid entry on potential GJ sells for anyone interested. Do have still clean traffic to the left as well, so there is enough margin to look for that sell option. To me, that looks really good just now. I mean, not right now. I've been waiting for the closure of this 730, and so long as it's got a bit of an upper wick. There goes gold. Yusuf, you do what you want, mate. Gee, you're a nice one. Arafin? No, not at all. I'm not. For me, it's not valid because it's just the fact it didn't have enough wick. So there is no FOMO. There's nothing. I really couldn't care less because there's going to be other opportunities. And again, I'm just trading with my rules because they're there to protect me. Sometimes it means I'll miss a move, but a lot of time, and it's been proven on stream, a lot of time if I didn't take the move and it would have gone the opposite way, and I'm sat there, no issue, no concern, where others are getting wrecked. So Donnelly, nice one. CP is coming, looks like it. The trade from last Friday hit full TP not long after the stream as well, guys. Made it 33.62. Yep, nice one. So it looks like a lot of you are following along. You chose to take it. That's all good, well done. Holding to 33.70.50. Yep. Not bad. That's just below the resistance. My first ever Forex mentor always said, just have your full TP. For instance, if this is your target, have it just below it. Because that's the level everyone's pretty much targeting. So perhaps it could be sell orders triggered prior to it, and then you get caught in a pullback. So I used to always say, have it just a bit below it. So I think the level you've got at is also pretty wise. What were your confirmations you used? Well, confirmations is the 5-minute closure above, 15-minute closure above. Pretty much that. 5 minutes forming structure, high lows, high highs. Long rejections with the back into the consolidation. So that is the actual 5-minute forming some structure. And with clean traffic to the left, there's a good chance and a high probability it would make a move up. So off the back of that, that is why I wanted to take the entry, what I was looking at. So again, I don't use signals, guys. There is no, indicators. There is no indicator. This is pure price action. At levels I want to get involved. In a direction I want to get involved. So as I mentioned, GJ is still looking pretty good. So for me on gold now, I can now mark that level back in. It's going to be tricky because my bias today is to buy it. Seeing it's a Monday, we are bullish across the board. So once again, my rules would suggest that I'm only looking for buy opportunities today. So potentially above the high. Got just under 2 minutes until session open here. Have a look at GJ. Yes, GJ looking good for anyone who trades it for a potential sell below the low of the 30/15. So be wanting it to create an upper wick and then enter just a little bit below it. But I'm not trading it. Giving GJ the flick, completely giving it the flick. Hater, hey man, I haven't had a minute to look at the chart. What's the market saying? Well, gold to me is very bullish, and we just made a pretty decent move. So I'll be looking to buy it. If you were to counter trend trade, then obviously wait for it to pop up higher to tap into the resistance before looking for a sell. Why did you mark the box of that wick, Josh? Because the wicks to the upside, I'm concerned by the highest point of any bearish candle. Because that is obviously the highest point of resistance, and a lot of time what you're going to see is price will tap into that level and you think it's about to break out, only for it to end up pulling back, leaves this big upper wick and continues to reject and heads back down. So I want price to be above or reject and head back below for my potential trade options. If you would go through the charts, I mean, looking at it just here to the downside, how many times did we tap into this zone here only to reject multiple times? So therefore it would make more sense for price to pop below it to look for cleaner and more probable sell options. So we got the session open, guys. That was the move. That was the move just there. So for me, why I want to see that happening, because it'd be more probable, seeing we've bounced off it multiple times here already, that if we did have a catalyst to actually tap in, close below and reject, then that is more likely and more high probability to be the actual, you know, price action play and pattern that makes the move down to the next support. Oh, GJ, so no entry just yet. Closed pretty strong bullish. Hater? No, that was the entry. That was it. If you're in it or not, that was it. KJ might implement what you said about putting TP before the reaction zone. Has it tapped? Not quite tapped into your target just yet. Usually I put it exact. Yep. Look, I often do still, but it's good to have it just a bit below. I ended up closing Friday's trade. Did actually hit full TP, which was the zone very similar to this sort of entry, but it wasn't as much consolidation. I ended up closing it about 55 pips in. The target was 74 or something. It did tap into it by the end of it though. Josh, resistance similar to the liquidity sweep. Yeah, well, resistance support is level that price likes to sort of, it's drawn to, like a bit of a magnet. And only once it's wiped through it, do I, you know, begin to look at what we've got to the upside or downside and readjust the zones again. So for that piece, should we look for sells? I wouldn't be looking for sells unless it taps into a resistance. Which should be actually just there. Chris, more into you. Hope you're well. CH46. No, I don't trade JJ anymore. Plus, it's still, you should not be in it at the minute. If you're following along from what I was suggesting. How about you guys, YouTube? What are we looking at the minute? Good to see numbers up a bit on YouTube and TikTok. You guys at some point are gonna have to jump across. Reason being is because in a month's time I will not be here in Oz. I'll be over in my second home, which is Thailand, streaming from there, from my office over there at home. And it's not very TikTok friendly. Even with the VPN, it still bans me for whatever reason over there. So if you guys post as to when you have to make that switch at some point. That will be for, it'll be for a couple months, probably about 2 months. I will do some live calls from there, live streams, but it won't be with the chart like this. There's no way. So session open and the minute, not much going on. Let's look at the indices and DE40. This thing has a lot of volatility at session open, and right now it's popping back above that support. So what I'm thinking about on DE40 is using the 5 minute as the main time frame, 15 minute as the stronger confirmation, but the 5 minute more for the entries, because this thing just has enormous volume. So off the back of that, I mean, it's in a pretty strong downtrend within the current daily candle. So I would still prefer to look for the sells, to be honest. Let's see though, is it closing, engulfing? Yeah. Engulfing a resistance, just. Yeah, I personally wouldn't be looking at that as an entry. FTSE, wow, look at that. Little giraffe, I will, mate. I will. Feel free to send me a message, by the way, DM, just so you know it's me, not someone pretending to be me. because I'll have to let you in on. I want to make it worthwhile for you guys. If you're gonna sub, you know, gonna be a bit in it for you. Yeah, so we'll plan to let you in on one or two of the live calls. And some further education. I can't give away at all though. But yeah. KJ, nice one. Yeah, I can see it's literally tapped into your level, hasn't it? And starting to reject. So once again, I'm all good. Happy that the plan played out absolutely pretty much perfectly, other than that one little detail. But it's good to know. Pure price action patterns working really well. At least should we consider an interruption play on German 40? Interruption play on German 40. What time frame? Are you talking about 15 here? Are you talking about to the upside? See, I don't consider it valid. Because remember, we're going to be trending. We're not trending here. And it's against the trend as well. If you're talking about the pause play, well, the pause play is, in this case, it's just the buy from support. So the limit order, I would not really look for in this situation. I'd just potentially look for a buy on the following candle above this point. If this was to be the highest point, and it looks like it's about to pump. Yep. Enormous volume on these indices. So we are beginning to pay more attention to them though. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to be patient with them. Got it? Nice one. KJ, thanks for the TP idea, bro. Was going to keep original. Nice one. All good, mate. My pleasure. Well done to you for taking the trade. Naz looks for a sell now. May I? Naz? Naz, that support, it's a very strong support. That's the chart from last week, by the way. So not something I've drawn in today. Week bullish, sorry, weekly. But the current daily / weekly is almost breaking a low already. No upper wick, so I'll be marking that point. And it's still a high probability it will create the upper wick, but it doesn't necessarily have to. Onto the daily, daily counter probabilities now to the downside. The issue with that though is it's at support as a potential level where it could bounce and reverse from. So that, based off that, I still believe there is a much higher probability at this rate that we will create the upper wick on the daily / weekly. 4 hour, once again, very strong support here. I'd incorporate those lows as far as resistance. Got that level there. Thank you for the sub. What's the structure like? Let me quickly confirm that. Have we closed above that high? No. So therefore the structure is bullish here on the 4 hour as well. 15-minute structure, you could argue is bearish. Yep, most definitely bearish. Still not close below this low. So what I'd like to see on NAS is for price to actually confirm a low here. So in order for that to be confirmed, it has to close below the lowest point of the swing low to the downside, which in my opinion is here. Here we've broken a low, but we've not closed below, so we've not confirmed a lower low. Here, same thing. So if we close below that point there, what that's going to do is that's going to shift the level where the structure will flip back bullish to above this point just here. And you've got clean traffic to the left of that at 4 hour support as well. So potential 4 hour and daily support as well, guys. So potential good area to get involved in buys is from the current level. It closes above that point there. the high probability we're coming back up to retest the resistance at 2271, or 22,711, 712, and then potentially up to 2270, 720, where once again clean buys above that resistance as well. But if we don't confirm the lower low just now, if this were close to NY session, I still would definitely consider the bias, because the bias is still technically bullish irrespective of the 15-minute time frame here. The other 3 time frames are definitely bullish, so I would still consider the buys above that point. I personally wouldn't trade this time of day though, and I would also consider selling it if it did reject the resistance at this point and maintain bearish structure on the minor time frame here. Aside from that, wait for a confirmation of the structure flipping back bullish if you can't get in buys from this point here, and that will be confirmed above 22,733.9. and you've also got clean traffic to the left, and there's a high probability we're going to come back up to create the upper wick on the daily / weekly at that point. Further sell options to the downside, you're at support and it's strong 4-hour support, so I would probably ignore it for the time being. The only way I would consider it is if it creates a nice clean move down, cut through the zone here to the left, pull back, nice clean pullback, lower high, and off the back of that, possibly. All right, gold's tapped into that resistance here. No support yet on the 5-minute. Look at that rejection of that level though. These levels do not lie. Lordy family, UJ. Phil, good morning to you. Panda, any tips? EU. EU was in a pretty strong sell-off, but now pulling back quite significantly. Let's quickly look at EU again. The weekly close bearish engulfing, perhaps just creating a bit of an upper wick in order to continue bearish daily. So it's open with a gap through the downside. Does have lower high, lower low. Form support at daily low. So if it comes back down to retest and break below that support, good chance we could continue to make a deeper pullback. The 4-hour structure is definitely bearish here. So that would be in line with the structure itself on that time frame. Mark in that so far as resistance. Support, we'll mark it in on the minor time frame, that being the 30. And I just mark in that level, mark in that level. All right, so what I'd be looking at, got a bit of a swing point here. All right, so I'd be looking for price 30 minutes also bearish, and I would now, off the back of that, the bias is bearish. So if we remain below 116,820, then I would prefer the downside. If we close above that point, I'm going to flip the structure back bullish. There is some pretty clean trapping up to the resistance here, but it just depends at that point if you actually have the margin. But otherwise, I'd be waiting for price to pull back, seeing it is in a bit of a pullback phase right now. Reject that resistance, the higher the better. It could potentially reject the current level. We are tapping into previous support, but if that's the case, you're not going to have the margin to sell back down. So therefore, I would preference a closure below the support form, just above the daily low. And at that point, you know, a bit of consolidation here to the left. Yeah, you're best to really be below 116,514 to be honest. Much cleaner below that point. My opinion of it. All right, gold closing back bearish here on 15. See if we get some minor 5-minute support. Check gold, yep, just checked it. Jamal. KJ, also, how do you find living time? Love it. Beats Oz, shits all over Australia. Beautiful part of the world. much better weather as well than Melbourne. So Abdi is 33.49, a good TPP for sales on gold if it reaches 73. 49. Yeah, potentially. This support, I mean, I'd be targeting 55. Ains, hello to you. Welcome. Arafin, 1. My little man, little boy. Hamza, selling gold. Nah, I need a little bit more in just a 15-minute candle. To be honest, my price is very bullish at the minute on gold. Trading Caden, just caught a beauty from 55. Got off sweet previous London high. 55. Yeah, we called trade from here. Just lacked one little detail. Jamal, good morning from London. Sharing analysis for pleasure, mate. Sky Goose Gold. Yusuf, do you recommend to copy your trades? I don't recommend anything. I mean, you guys do what you want to do. It's not a signal service. We're here to learn. We're here to, you know, chill. It's a niche market. I don't know many traders personally, other than, you know, the guys in my team and that. But other than that, so none of this is financial advice, guys. You do your own research. You agree with the trade and you like the trade, then you take the trade. Up to you. But if it's against your plan, then I don't recommend taking it. UJ, all right, UJ. Got it here actually. All right, so strong bullish in the weekly. We do have a high, low, high, high already to that previous candle. So if we were to continue bullish, not necessarily much of a need for us to pop back down and break our own low. It's going to be some minor support at that point there. So we'll mark in both those levels. Daily, high, low, high, high. Structurally bullish with the counter probabilities also to the upside. So once again, be so far favoring the buyers. 4 hours also bullish, but at resistance. So this is where maybe it'd be best to look for sell options, just purely because the level it's at. Mark in those bearish lows for the time being, and we'll adjust accordingly on the 30-minute time frame here. So the currency pairs, I use the 30-minute time frame. Well, I don't trade it any at the minute, but I believe the best to trade on the slightly higher time frame. 30 minutes also bullish. Off the back of that, I'd be only looking for buys on UJ, and I'd be looking for buys from the pullback to support at 146.950 or 146.90, and await price action catalyst from that point there. Further options would be above the high. You've got clean traffic to the left as well, so that is what I'd be looking at. Price was to seeing it's bounced off support at the daily low. It's triggered in sellers. If we will wipe those sellers out, close above the resistance, that's me be a nice entry point to the upside. Gold popping back up. So let's see. Are we going to be range bound here? Good thing is we're triggering sellers into the market at this point. So if we were to wipe those sellers out, I would begin to trust the buyers back above the high. MG472, M5 support at 66 on gold. 66. Previous resistance. Yeah, potentially. Ismail, can I sell? If you want, I don't see there being a sell at the minute. Alright guys, we'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Alright guys, what have I missed? Smithy Willie, continuation is interesting. Why? Because CPI tomorrow, but everyone's still expecting continuation, I think. To be honest, I think gold just does what it wants to do these days, to be honest. Again, all the news that's come out of late, with all the wars, everything, in the day, obviously you need to be wary of the news for sure, because it can impact it initially for momentarily, but aside from that, for the most part, it just does what it wants to do. That's my personal opinion. There is always some reaction around it for sure. I agree with you, but if it's sustained or not, I think it just continues to stick with the technicals, and it is still a very strong uptrend. So off the back of that, even if it was to correct off the back of the news, the data release, I would still just look for options to buy it on pullback for the time being. Shawnee, NAS 100 came down. Should we sell? Oh, look at that rejection of that resistance. No, I wouldn't be selling into this support. JJ popping up, so there'd be no entry there. JJ. Link with all the message chart on gold. Nice move though. That was a nice move. Yeah, just unfortunate about that bloody little wick. Didn't have it. Johnny, all good. Merrily, I'm here. Fine. Good luck. Good luck. I don't think this is the stream for that, to be honest. Perhaps you should start your own stream. I'm not sure what to tell you, to be honest. Footsie. Wow, look at that move. Alright, what happened here? 5 minute. Just an impulsive move. There is very little way to get involved unless you've got buy stop set. So the indices, gold, even the majors, except for the Aussie dollar, of course, have pumped. Why isn't the Aussie dollar pumping? Goats, long time, mate. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Hope to see you on the stream more often. Diddy Cha fishing. I think that's how you pronounce it. Can you tell me something about confirmation on gold? Well, I wouldn't want to sell, buy into the resistance, so the only thing you can look for is really sells below, but the buys above could come into play. Because we triggered it in sellers into the market at this level, and if we wipe those out, if we close above in the next few minutes, we could have buys. Issue will be stop loss. It's going to be a big one. So you need to, it will definitely come down to the low wick on the following candle. But again, it has to close above here. We've rejected multiple times, so I want it to close above. Johnny? No, I'm not. No. Too far gone. I'd be waiting for pullbacks, to be honest. I mean, it's nothing to suggest it can't continue bullish. But personally, it's too far gone for me. All right, let's see on gold. He's trying. Just under a minute and a half. Once again, the 5 minute forming some structure, create that a high, create some high lows, high highs, potentially confirming that high high again. So we need to close above, and we need the following candle to create a decent lower wick. It'll be the closure of the 30 as well. We could potentially look at some continuation buys here on gold. Just under a minute, guys. So it comes down to whether or not we close above here. But this is pretty solid at the minute. We need a decent lower wick. So you're looking around 52 so far as a potential entry point. Oh, popped up higher. Yet again, we need to leave an upper wick as well. 20 seconds.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey mate, just watching gold for a minute, so just one moment. Man, it's not going to leave a wick. Oh, man, second time. Up to you guys, I'm not taking it. Again, following my rules. It's got no wick. 30 has closed with no wick. I mean, if it taps in and breaks its high, it's not a... It's a better confirmation because it's kind of like the residual volume left over from that previous candle. How it popped straight up. That's just... Why? Why could you not have a bit of a wick? What can I do? Ooh. Could be a potential interruption play here though. Yeah, I'm trying to force it at this rate. It's got no upper wick, and the rule is it has to have an upper wick. Here's what it is, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be really strict and stick to the rules. MG472, because if you look back through the left here, a lot of the to see, have a look at the candles that previously had no wicks, in this case the upside, what was to follow? A lot of time is followed by those sort of candles that close back bearish. Maybe breaks, just briefly breaks the high just a little bit, and if you had to buy set, or if you just bought it on the closure of that, and that would be a catalyst here too, because you closed above resistance. A lot of time it ends up closing back in the opposite direction. It's kind of like it has no more volume towards the end of it, I suppose. Everyone has a different opinion of it, but I just don't like to trade it because I know that this is more likely to happen, where the following candle will just make a deep pullback. So for me, there is nothing I can do. The only thing I would consider now is if the 15 closed weak bearish above, because seeing we have tapped into the lows of this range again, the support, the resistance, sorry, tapped into the actual range below. If we were to bounce back up and close just above it, then that would provide another signal. But to take it off the back of this candle, no, I don't trust it. Makes sense. Nice one. Ains 33.85. What's that? 85. Sorry, Mr. Phil. How's it going, mate?
Not so bad.
Been off the charts for a bit?
Yeah. Not really been on the chat for I think since mid-June.
Yeah, fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Back now, or?
Yeah. We definitely.
Nice one.
We've been back since I think last week. Last week I was a little bit on. Yeah, but I think things are a little bit settling down for me now. So
Yep. Nice one. Any trades so far today?
nah, I was looking at the EU, but it's a mess. It's just consolidating.
Yeah,
There's
pull
really
back.
nothing there. Oh yeah, on the alley, it's a mess. There's nothing there for
Yeah,
me.
very true. Yeah, it does look terrible.
Yeah.
No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Waiting here on gold. Speaking of, well done, Tony Gold. Smashed. TP smashed. Nice one. Good work. So I'm assuming you took the buy we're looking at from earlier? Happy to see you guys doing well from it. Well done. Statue Grizz could jump down. Yeah, potentially. But for me, again, I just need to let it reset. So next potential signal would be closure back above. Weak bearish, back above. Because that would suggest we grab liquidity once again from the downside. And with the clean traffic to the left, if we were to break that 15-minute high, there's a high probability we'll continue bullish. Back to Matrix, white gold, and BTC pumping. Market seems to be risk on at the minute, I suppose. Well, gold, not really a risk on asset, but you got the majors also making a bit of a pullback at the minute. You got all the metals pumping. Silver, platinum would be pumping as well. If you want to know whether things are risk on or not, probably best looking at the indices. Bitcoin, I'm not sure something to do with any ETFs or no idea. I'm assuming that does impact it a fair bit though. I just can't buy in. It's just way too late. I think it's going to be very bullish there. Yeah, my bias is bullish. That's your Grizz today, sell day. There we go. So everyone's entitled to their opinion. And we all have different opinions of the market. Even if we share a similar opinion, doesn't mean we're looking at the same entries. So it's the beauty of trading. The other day, on Friday, people were taking sells, took some profits, and again, half an hour later, I took buys in the opposite direction, and you saw what happened. Those who were on stream. We also took some nice profits on that. So the important thing is just to stick to your plan. Victor 15. Marco, wait to sell confirmation. Yeah, counter trend sells at this rate for me would not be valid until below 33.67 roughly. Got clean chunk to the left. Also respecting the resistance here that perhaps is just the liquidity grab from the upside, and we could end up back at support. Thank you to the 40 new followers, guys. Welcome, welcome. This one's key. G'day to you. Friday, every streamer got cooked by sells. Oh, really? TT and Wix got cooked. There you go. And we took the buys, didn't we? We cooked gold on Friday. That was a cracking trade. 70 plus pips by the end of it on a quick scalp. Didn't take long. Yeah, so like I always mention, guys, especially Monday and Friday, it's the importance of trading in line with the trend and the structure and the bias. By Friday, you've got generally a weekly candle that's printing pretty strong in one direction. Not always, but generally speaking. you've also at that point likely got the bias in the same direction of the weekly candle. So it makes more sense just to either wait for, and if you're looking for buys, for continuation buys or pullback buys. So happened to be on Friday, price made nice moves. We got involved on the pullback buys and took some nice profits on it. Same thing on a Monday. I prefer to trade, generally speaking, in line with the direction of the previous weekly candle, because again, that will give you a directional bias for the most part. The only time I would begin to trade against it, generally speaking, is when I've got a price action catalyst such as a 15-minute structure here on gold flipping back bearish, which the confirmation for that at this point isn't until back below the support here. So then the higher probability option for me would be to either wait for the continuation buy back above the high, or pullback buys, maybe from this support if there was enough margin, likely not, or from lower down. And you're trading in line with the bias, you're trading in line with the structure and the trend, and with higher probability. That's just generally speaking for what works for me. Tony Gold 33.59 was my entry. 59, nice one, bro. Wow, nice work. Loyalty family, GJ pumping on a daily fair value up. Not sure, to be honest. Yeah, I'm the wrong one to ask when it comes to fair value gaps. I don't think that is one, to be honest. I think it's what they call imbalance. Again, I'm not the man to ask when it comes to imbalances as well. You want to know price action? That's what I know. Just makes key counter trend trades are just too risky with high volume on a Friday. Exactly. 100% I agree. Best just to wait for it to set up in line with the trend. Fridays can be volatile, reason being is because a lot of the hedge funds and a lot of the big banks and that will tend to wrap up positions on before the weekend, and that will shift the markets a lot of the time. So that's why they call it Freaky Friday. A lot of people, Freaky Friday, whatever, because it can make some strange moves. Sometimes against the structure, against the trend, but a lot of time would be with it. So let's see, 3 minutes and 45 seconds, guys. Are we going to close back above week bearish? If so, then there could be options to buy gold still on the following M15. Waiting for that rule to be ticked off. Very simple rule to follow. And then we just react like a robot. Gold trade waiting for news on PAL. Is there any scheduled news? I don't think there was, wasn't there? Not unless I'm missing something. IG, it's news if Powell has resigned or not. Yeah, again, I'm not aware of that. I know Trump's pressuring him into resigning. So gold, why go against the trend? Trend is up. Well, I'm looking for buys personally myself as well. Very good morning to you. So let's see, gold potentially setting up here. What is the high of this bearish candle? 33.74.90. So you'd be looking at 33.75.10. Freed, did I catch? No, I don't trade Bitcoin. The only crypto I hold any of is Ethereum. And to be honest, I kind of wish it hadn't pumped just yet. Holding buys for 99k, nice one. Just made a new all-time high a few minutes ago. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Keeps on keeping on, doesn't it? YouTube, 25 likes. If you can just get that count up a little bit, that'd be great. Tony Gold. They were salty too. Everyone got faked out. Oh, really? Yeah, look. It's not easy streaming, to be honest, but as long as they're following their plan, at the end of the day, we're not responsible for you guys. If you like what we do and you agree with the entry, you take it. If not, no one twists your arm to take the trade. So it's not easy, but if you stick to your plan, stick to your rules, which I'm sure they do, I'll know that they'll win. You know, maybe what, I don't know what their win rate is, but you know, for me, around that 80% of the time. So I'm sure they had their reason to sell it, but for me, it was a buy last Friday all day. And you guys saw I skipped the sells. Could have possibly got involved in sells, but I skipped it and waited for the buy opportunity. So I wish those guys luck. I'm sure they're good traders as well. Statue Grizz, to be honest, I think it's very bullish, so it's not going to close above here, so there's no entry at the minute. For each bottom around 33.54 on gold, took buys 33.55. Nice one. Rocket to down today on gold. Statue Grizz, you really want it to come down, don't you? Very close, most 33.73. Good work. 15-minute candle coming now. Yep, but closed back below resistance here, so there is definitely no entry. I'll type it into the chat. They're a reputable broker. Never had any issues. Not affiliated with them though, so only there is no entry for me, mate. There is no entry. I'd be looking for the buys, to be honest. And the minute there's no buys right now, back below resistance. Look at GJ popping all the way back up. German 40. Forming some really nice structure here. So what you want to really see before you trust any sells and rejection of this level is similar structure to the downside. Let it create a double top sort of pattern and formation, or at least a low, lower high, lower low, and that's when you trust it and correlate with like a 15 closing back bearish, 15 or 30. Let's see, still pumping. Do I think power resign? I don't know, he's pretty adamant that he doesn't want to, or he's not going to, but he's under enormous pressure, isn't he? We all know Trump doesn't want him in there. Oh, okay, yep. Little draft. Ava, because you're a subscriber, mate, you get special privileges. Is that Ava? So the issue of these types of altcoins is there's very low liquidity on them. Bybit's probably a better one to look at. See, the crypto, a lot of these shitcoins and meme coins and whatever will go by the wayside irrespective of, you know, Bitcoin. But looking at it just here, I mean, it is structurally quite bullish as well. It's at some resistance. Strong weekly. Daily. Approaching resistance in a bit of a downtrend by the looks of things. 4 hours definitely bullish. Be looking for pullback buys. Yeah, so the bias is bullish, but you're at some resistance. So it's gonna be tricky buying it into it, to be honest. It does look a lot better above that point, above 63.50 roughly. But again, for me, it's very hard to trade these low liquidity altcoins. Yep, back to gold, 100%. Gold is what I do best. Statute Grizz, gold jumping to 33.75 and after go down. Potentially, but still big strong uptrend. This one is key. Yeah, fair enough. Again, they probably had reason to do so, but you guys know my opinion of things on especially Friday and the Monday about what direction I prefer to trade in. It's definitely in line with the strength of the weekly candle. Goats lost 3 funded accounts in 1 week when the market was shaking with not known news, and I stopped for a while. Maybe I start with only one. Yeah, I honestly think a few of my guys who are similar, I've told them just to chill with the funded accounts, just one at a time. Pass one, get a payout, use that to pay for another one. And then maybe copy trade if you can. Get a VPS. And that's how I'd probably go about it. If I am to go about it yet again in the future, the funded, down the funded, path. That's how you're going with the silver, mate. If I just wish it wasn't pumping so soon, but I've still been stacking. I've been buying every week. Didn't buy this week though, because of the closure. I usually buy on the weekend. But I've been buying this from about 23 US roughly, and it's now at 38. So my average buy is probably around at 31, 30, I'd say, without actually checking it. But this thing is off to the races. This thing will create an all-time high. I have no doubt. I've heard a lot of economists suggest that silver will be in triple figures. Could potentially even be this year, but some are most are predicting not just yet. And some are predicting north of $500, which would make me very happy. But still a long way to go. It's a swings key. That's what I learned from Justin, and implementing insights and analyze my own decisions. Nice one, mate. And that's it. Follow your own plan. It's the most important thing. Great teacher and discipline one to learn from. Appreciate it, mate. Goats, I know. You were 100% sure about that. Yep. 100%. When it comes to silver, I've been talking and barking up the silver tree for how many years now? Since the old stream, couple years. To the 120 odd of you on TikTok, appreciate it. Thank you to new followers. Feel free to ask questions, guys. Do you trade full-time? Lock? Kind of, yeah, I do, but I have other interests in the background. But I do trade this session every day. I do look at the charts every day. Do trade minimum of about 2 to 3 hours of a day. And that's what works for me. Not every day I get a trade. When I do get a trade, there's a good chance, 80% chance it's going to be a win. Vinny. Who's type in the chat. Good for scalping because they're low spreads. Raw spread account. Truck route is USD going up. By the looks of it, I think it's going down at the minute without actually looking at DXY, because gold's going up, the majors were bouncing a bit. Had made a bit of a pullback. It's still very bearish though. A higher time frame picture. I think next port of call could be 95. Man. Mention it. It's not huge lot sizes. It's enough to see some significant returns. It's enough to see some significant losses if you don't manage it. And again, you guys saw firsthand last Friday how strict and quick I was to start to trail my stop loss, even though it never really went to 5 pip drawdown max, I think it was. And how I went about managing it in profit as well, where I took partials.
Justin, I'm looking for GU sells on the closure of the M30 if we close strong, bearish.
At that resistance, yeah.
Yeah, but it needs to be closing strong, bearish.
Yeah,
So
I would.
near the lows right now.
Yeah, has to definitely close back below.
Yeah, I would
Minimum.
say more than that. So to be
Yeah.
to have a very strong signal there.
Yeah, agreed.
Because there was a strong bullish candle there, and maybe we can gain 10 pips out of that.
Yep. Fill that candle back. I agree. You a little looks similar, but just still a little bit too strong bullish at the minute. Gold's still correcting a little bit. No, I think it's a good plan, mate, if it does present. Free gold is messy range now. Fair enough. David, bro, you are short? No. Nothing. Sky, buy or sell? Nothing at the minute. Been over what I wanted to see, well, what I want to see at these levels. Robert K said it, buy gold and silver. No idea. I've been saying it for years, for many years. So my plan is to accumulate as much silver as I possibly can, whilst it was so suppressed, in order to eventually trade it in for gold once the ratio got to around that 50 to 1. The minute it's still around 90, I think. Let's quickly check. Whoops. Accidentally pressed the wrong thing, didn't I? $88.27. So it's dropping because it got to over 100. So once that drops to around that 60 is probably when I'll start to swap maybe a quarter of my silver holdings. Once it gets to about 40, I'll swap probably another quarter. And if it gets back to where it should be, which is really around that 20, I'll swap another quarter, and then I'll just leave. I'll keep a quarter because it can still pump itself. Offline, me too, bro. Is that in regards to your plan with silver and gold? Luso, this is gold XAUUSD. Man like Jules, sorry. GJ. Can't stand it, to be honest. Yeah, I've given a flick. I've given GJ a flick, but it's about to confirm structure flip in the M30 here, back bullish, but I still wouldn't be buying it because you're buying into resistance. So for me, what I'd be now looking for is either price to come up to 198.90 where I look for rejection for sells, 199 flat, or just wait for it to pull back, create that high low, and then buy it. So I now adjust this support. And for sells, you want to be below that point, unless it's from resistance. Jose, 33.66. Back at support. WTI. So that's also bouncing at the minute. weekly strong bullish with current probabilities to the upside, so we're going to mark in the daily high and low because he's likely going to be looking for cleaner options either side of that level and perhaps within it. For our way I see it, still technically bearish in structure, but yes, it is creating some high lows, high highs within the micro trend itself. Just use that so far, support, go down to 15. So it's broken out here. So what I'd be doing, and that, not a bad little pause play just there, I'd probably just mark that in, level it's broken out of, and I'd wait for price to pop back down, see if it forms support above it for some further buy options. But nonetheless, what I want to see is price triggering sellers at this point, and then wipe the sellers out, close above, and then look for buyers. And that point, you're forming some structure again, and it provides another price action signal. Clean traffic to the left. Yeah, it looks pretty good for a sell, for a buy, sorry. And as far as the sells, I would personally wait until closures below this point here. Again, off the back of the strength of the weekly, I'd rather wait for the daily to break its own low to support that level. Otherwise, just trade in line with the strength of the previous weekly. That's how I personally would go about it on the first day of the week. All right, gold will close below, no entry, guys, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Good stream nonetheless. I mean, we called a really nice trade, called a cracking trade, but just lacked the upper wick. But some of you took it, so well done. Well done to those who had a great start to the week. Thank you to the sub, to Little Giraffe. Again, feel free to send me a message, and yeah, we'll organize some stuff moving forward. If anyone else is considering it, feel free. Otherwise, guys, I will be on tomorrow about 30 minutes prior to London Open. To my team, I will be on with you guys in probably about an hour and a half or so from now. Pretty important one today, so if you can't be there, we'll be recorded, but if you can, fantastic. And looking forward to it. MG472, the links are all in the profile, so yeah, feel free. So that is for the VIP, guys. I will see you guys in about an hour and a half from now for the education session. Cheers guys, on the call for you guys now. And once again, YouTube, TikTok, appreciate the support. Be on tomorrow about 30 minutes prior to London Open. Until then, have a good one. Cheers guys, enjoy your day, have a good one.